We are live and we are Monday and we are doing edge to edge. Hi, Linda. You got the crazy win today. We've had it all weekend. It's nuts. I mean, the weather this spring has been just crazy. And here comes Tippy because she thinks we have company. So here we go. We'll give her her treat and then she'll need to go lay down and behave. Yeah, there we go, baby. So, Linda, my Michigander buddy, good evening. I hope you're doing well. And Cactus Deb is here from Glendale. Linda from Sugarland, Texas. You know, you're right, Linda. It has been nonstop lately with the winds. And, you know, where we live, we get a lot of wind anyway. So when we're getting, 45, 50-mile-an-hour gusts or 35, 45, somewhere in there, they're strong anyway. They knock tree limbs down and everything. Hi, Carla. So nice to see you from Oklahoma City. I hope you guys are having some good weather out there. I notice around the country how warm it's getting, and we're still wearing jackets. So tonight we are going to be on our last block for our feather designs, which means starting next week, we are going to be working with the Starry Night. Okay, I have to confess, it's my favorite. It really is. I love the Starry Night. I've done the Starry Night several times. I think I've done 4 Starry Night quilts in 4 different ways, and it's always fun and new, even to do them over again. I really enjoy them. So let's take a look. Feather templates, there they are. We're going to get that in here. Don't forget our deal date 20. And I didn't put the banner up because I took it down. There it is. There we go. I took it down last week because we had a class actually that it wouldn't work on. So, okay, let's see who else is here. Lois has made it from Delaware on time tonight. Yay! Welcome, Lois. It's good to have you whether you're on time or not. And Kathy, hi. Sunny Florida and soon back to New York. You know what, Kathy? Enjoy the sunshine because up in the upper half of the country here, we haven't been getting a lot of it. Charlene, hello from Colorado, and Evelyn is here from Indiana. Jean is here from Mount Vernon, Washington. And let's take a look at where we are at. Okay. Hi, Janice, my friend. How are you? I sure miss you. Okay. See if my prompting her to lay down will work or not. It's anybody's guess. So here we are. This is our last feather. I am somewhat saddened, but really excited over the fact we're going to Starry Night next. What we've got here, as I was looking at this, practicing it, it dawned on me. This is a diamond, and this would fit beautiful in an on-point block because you could bring these sides out just a little bit, okay? Then we've got the Spin-e-fex Feather 8. I think we've done this several times. As far as I'm concerned, you can't do it enough. And we've got the bigger size here and a little tiny small one here. Now, we've got smaller templates for the Spin-e-fex 8, but they're not that small. So we're going to need to make that one just a little bit bigger, and that's okay. And this is going to be a small feather template that we're going to use there. We're going to make ours just a little bit bigger or about the same size. I'm not really sure. We'll see when we get there. You know me. live dangerously, right? So I kind of drew this out just so that I knew exactly where I wanted the elements. Okay. And let me pull this back just a little bit. There we go. You could see it's very rudimentary. Okay. And that's what I wanted. I just wanted basic placement here. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to say hello to Rita. Good morning, Rita. Oh, Australia's getting chilly in the mornings now. You know what, Rita? It's still chilly in the mornings where I live too. Trust me. Allison is here from southwestern Florida. Welcome, Allison. And my friend Wanda from across town. Hi, Wanda. Monica is here from Durand, Illinois. So nice to see you again. It really is. And Chris, my friend, is here from up the street in Iron Mountain, just happens to be where we are, right, Chris? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch cameras. So let's go here and here. You can't see what I'm doing, but trust me, I think I know what I'm doing. Well, I think I know what I'm doing. There we go. We're going to bring it in nice and clear for you. Let's work on this bad boy first. Let me show you how I drew this out and how you may want to draw it out also. Hi, good morning, Lorraine. Lorraine's visiting us tonight from Brisbane, Australia. So good to have you. So what we're going to do is this is a smaller size. This is close to the size that's actually on the this is 4 1/4 by 9 1/8. So it's quite long, but it's actually not very tall. Whoops, wrong camera. So it's it's 4 1/4 inches tall and 9 1/8 inches long. And ours is going to be a little taller than that. Let me find my ruler. My husband has been up here sewing with me, and I find things missing. They're not really missing. They're just in his stash of stuff. Okay, so instead of 4 inches, I've got 6 inches here. So what I've got here though is, this one is only 3 inches that I drew out. However, the process is the same no matter what size you choose to draw it out. And I chose to draw it out this way the first time, and that is because what I want is I want my plumes to come out and graze this um, tilted line here. It's not a 45-degree line. It's not a 60 or 30-degree. It's just a line that was aesthetically pleasing to me. Okay, 45-degree was just too severe, as was the 60-degree line. It was too severe. I needed something that came a little softer. 45-degree would have been like coming out like this. It would be half of the 90-degree. And this this is good because what you can do is you can make it however wide or thin you want it for your space. Okay, so that really does help. So what I did then, let's see, who else is here? Maureen, hi from Kansas. Yeah, Deb, he is feeling better. He is off to a council meeting this evening and sees the doctor tomorrow. So tomorrow, hopefully, he will have some answers, um, and that will be a good thing. So anyway, what I did when I drew this out is I went ahead and put the numbers of the feathers here for 2 inch, 3 inch. And that is just very helpful. So let's take a look here. We're going to start with our 3 inch. And when I did draw this out earlier in a larger scale, I started with my 4 inch, and that worked out really well. Now, two things that I need here. One is thread. I I forgot to thread my sewing machine. Oh well. The other thing that I want is my spacing gauge. So stick with me, guys. It's been a day. It has been a day. All right, here we go. And I'll get that. Well, there we go. And I forgot I can no longer thread it like that. I have to do it differently because I didn't want the thread jumping out of a guide, so I closed the guide up. I'm just gonna turn this on 1 second here because my old eyes need the light. And that's what happens when they get old, I guess. Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed the beautiful announcement that was done for the lives this week. I think they look fantastic. They look nicer than I've ever seen them look. So I definitely want to thank the person who did those. I have no idea who that was. I'll have to give a call, shout out tomorrow. Wait, goodness. I know how to thread a needle, but for some reason tonight, it's just eluding me. Yay, finally. There we go. Doesn't normally take me that long, thank goodness. I'd spend 3/4 of my day just threading needles. There we go. Okay, gonna turn some light on. Okay, Janice, it is a brand new bobbin, thank you. I knew you would ask. Only welcome. I am glad you made it. And Diane, good morning to you. It is so nice to see you here. Okay, so I'm going to grab my spacing gauge. Now, what I want is I want this first plume and every successive plume to just graze this mark, okay? This is what it's going to look like. If it comes out a little way, you know what's going to happen? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, okay? Because these marks are going to go away. So it's more important to make sure that everything looks good and stays consistent. So let me show you what I mean. I am going to start, well, I think what I'm going to do here first, there we go. I think we got a little there. The first thing I'm going to do is start right in the center, and I'm going to pull my thread out. Okay. And there's my bobbin thread from my full bobbin, Janice. Oh, it was the last thing I did this afternoon before I was getting ready to come on here. All right, down we go. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to move this other stuff out of my way for now. I am going to turn this in this direction, and the reason I'm going to do that is because I really want you to see how I handle this horizontal line, okay? We can and probably should because it looks like that's what happened. We're just going to bring this lobe or this feather down into that bottom quarter of the diamond that we drew out. This is a 3-inch feather, and we are right on the edge here. So you want to be especially careful. Could you put a 4-inch feather in here? Yeah, you could. The reason I personally am not going to do it is I think it's just too big for this particular space. If you want to make this diamond shape larger and put more feathers in, you certainly can do that too. Okay. And holy cow, guys, just not prepared here. Okay. I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Now my foot's back down where it belongs. And I'm going to come all the way around until I hit that center line. Okay, there is my first full feather, but I'm going to come back up to my highest point within this space, which is going to be right about here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this thread off. Now, what I was talking about was bringing this plume right here. That's a good thing. We want to do that. Okay, so now what I need to do, because this is where I've ended up, right here is where I ended up. So now what I want to do is bring my template up, but I want to twist it. And the reason that I'm going to twist it is because if I leave it straight, I'm going to end up with a great big fat plume at the bottom, and I don't want that. Okay, I want the plumes to end somewhat close. So I'm just going to twist that around and I'm going to look at where this is going to end. And that's too low, so I'm going to twist it back. Right about there is where I want it to end. It's probably about 3/8 to a half of an inch from the first one. Now I need to pull this out just a little bit too, because where I'm looking at here is I want to make sure that my plume touches this line. So there's several things that we really need to be aware of as we're stitching this. My one stitch in place. And now this is what I'm talking about. You see how it comes down and makes a really, really pretty plume. And come back up to my higher side there, just about the highest, and needle down. If this plume comes across too straight, it looks chunky and it looks awkward. We don't want that. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade that out for my 2-inch plume, right? Yes, I am. But if you want to, we can use the 2.5-inch that came with our Elevate block box. So I want to show you how I would, I had to do this when I was first starting this afternoon or this morning, I mean, and I'm looking and I'm going, okay, now which way should I put this? It was confusing me. Okay, I'm blonde. It doesn't take much to confuse me. So what you would do with this one is you would do the same thing by twisting it in, making sure that you've got your plume just touching that outer edge of that. Now the problem I have is that it is going to hit kind of high. I really don't want it that high. So what I need to do with this one is pull it out. I'm going to show you. Okay. I'm going to stitch part of it. I'm going to come here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist that so that it will fall right where I want it to, right about there. And we'll come back up. There we go. It's higher than it would have been if I had put this one in. And I'm going to stitch back and show you the difference. Okay, there we go. That's where we ended on this guy. And I'll go ahead and bring this in. The reason I'm doing this is I want you to see options, okay? And I need to twist this. There we go. Now I'm going to come out too far, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to twist this down just a little bit. There we go. Now you'll see the little bit of different shape here. And there we go. Now we're going to come out to the top. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to twist this again, part of the way through. I'm going to make sure that I've got my 1/4 inch. That's what I'm really concerned with right now. But I am going to twist my template to see where the 1/4 inch is going to end down here. And I want it to end up just a little higher than it's going to. So how do I do that? I'm going to come up to my highest point, and then I'm going to go ahead and twist this down just a little bit. And you'll see how beautiful that came down. Now I've got one more plume to put on here, and this one's going to be kind of like a half a plume because what we want to do here is we want to put that tip on it. And this is the tip that I'm talking about here. Let me turn that off. There we go. I'm talking about this little piece right here. And you can put that on now, or you can put it on after we get the other side done. It really doesn't matter, okay? And let's go ahead and wait till we get to the other side. Now what we need to do is get back down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the side of my template. Whoops, I need to get back to the center. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. Back to the center. And we're going to come down. Whoops, I wobbled. Okay, that's all right. Now I'm going to pull out my number 3 again. And I do have my rack here so that I can find things when I need them. Now what's nice is we can just go on the other side. We don't have to turn templates and try and figure out how to do all that. We're just going to turn it to the side. There we go. Around. Remember, we're just if we hit that area, we're doing gray. Smaller stitches because it's a shape that requires it, basically. Now, don't worry about matchy-matchy on the other side, okay? I mean, if you do, that's awesome, if you're able to do it, but you know what? I personally don't think it's the living end unless you're working on something that's very formal. Formal feathers are supposed to be matchy-matchy. I'm not formal. I don't even think I've ever worn a formal. Okay, so up here we are. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna come around and let's twist that template so we end up where we want. Wanna pull it out a little bit, and it's a dance, guys. It's a dance to make sure we're exactly where we wanna be. And around we go. See how we just raise that side, and we come back up to that highest point and making sure our needle is down, okay? Now I'm gonna get my 2-inch. Oh my goodness, you guys aren't even in there. I am so sorry. Boy, I'm glad I looked. Okay, let's see who made it here today besides okay, Janice here, Karen's here from Colorado, Anna's here from the great state of Texas. Oh, Lee asked how Ken was doing. He's doing well. He's doing well. Oh, Jan almost missed tonight. Oh, where did the weekend go? Ask me about that. Oh, Lee, thank you for letting me know you can't see. Needle not in view, Carla says. Kathy, we can't see what you. Oh, can you center it? Yes, I can. Yes, I can do all of that. And I apologize. I forgot I moved it to show you the book. Suzanne loves feathers. Hi from Iowa. And Jean is here from Newfield, New York. Hello, Jean. Okay, we're really not that far, so I just kinda missed these 2. We're gonna do them again, though, so we'll make sure that you definitely get to see everything that we are doing, okay? Oh, wait, there's a little needed a little drink there, my throat gets dry. Okay, so now I've got my 2-inch, and, look at that, guys. Is that perfect or what? And where I want it to end, you know what? It looks really good right now. Let's test it out and see how it goes. You know, you have to trust this template. I have the hardest time trusting certain templates, and this is one of them. I don't know why. It's like I want to maneuver things differently, and you don't need to. Okay, so this one now we're gonna come up and around, and obviously I want to get further in. So what I'm going to do, because we don't have a 1-inch template, although I wish we did. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get up to the highest point here, right about here. And now I'm just going to go ahead and turn that template. And there we go. That's about where I want. And coming back up to that point. Okay, this is where we're going to put that little um, tip on it. Okay, it doesn't matter which side we go in. What we want to do is we want to come up halfway on one side. I'm going to stop right there. And we're going to come down the other way. I need to get it out just a little further. There we go. Yeah, I didn't get it out far enough. I'm sorry. Okay. So there is the little edge. And now we'll just go ahead and we will come down. I think part of that was because I was messing around over here with that other template. Now I'm going to come back down to center. And what's nice about this, you don't have to break thread if you don't want. Well, I guess that looks okay. What do you think? Other than this goofy one that we were playing with, I think it looks pretty good. Okay. And we are just literally going to repeat. What time is it? Okay. So to repeat, I am going to hold it this way because this, to me, was the way that was easiest to hold it, okay? And we're gonna come out just a little bit. There we go. Come out this way. And what I want you to see is how these two just meld together beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Now, if you want, there is another thing you can do. What you can do is go ahead and turn your template over and do the biggest one on the other side. And there we go. We're going to just check all of our measurements. There we go. Whoops. Want to be on this one. And beautiful. Okay, so here we go. Perfect. Now what we need to do is travel back up, and you can use the template for this. In order to do it, you want to have your spacing gauge right on, okay? Definitely want it to be perfectly aligned, or you can just free motion it. We're going to come up to the highest point. I'm going to call that the highest point. I have arrows on there, but I don't know why. I must have been using it for another project at one time. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I touch that. And I want to come in right about here. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to come down to where it starts. Go to the other side. Oh, I need to use the top one, not the bottom one. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and put this guy back in on this side. Truthfully, I find this way to be much more difficult. I like the idea of putting them all up on one side better than coming back and getting them put together. Now, the advantage to this, why would someone do this? Well, because doing it in this way, you know that your plumes are all going to meet at the same time. Okay? That's the plus. The minus is that you still have to travel back. You'll see I made a little oops right here. You know, this one was fine, but the other side wasn't. Personally, I find free motion traveling will work well also. Just take your time. And the key, I think, is to keep moving. If you stop, a lot of times what happens is you'll jerk your arm and it will go ahead and make a little whoops. Judy's here from Greenleaf, Wisconsin. Hi, Judy. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Monica says, neat how the middle ones intertwine, and you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my 2-inch in. There we go. And we're gonna come over here and I'm gonna twist it up just a little bit. Right about there is where I want it. And in about 2 threads. Whoops. And let's go ahead and finish these guys up, doing them the old-fashioned way. This is what I call the old-fashioned way. Okay. And then we're gonna come up. Remember on this top one, because it's getting so small, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up to the top. Now we're just gonna twist our template, and that's gonna tell us where we're gonna hit that spine, and that looks just about right. Oh yeah, love it. Okay, we're gonna come back up to the top, and I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna go ahead and break thread. Well, I like showing you guys different ways that I have found that I can do things. Some of them are great, some of them don't turn out so hot. But you know what? It's always the way that I think you guys will find one of these to work the best for you. Not everybody likes to do things the same way, and that's good. I'm okay with that, all right? Definitely okay with that. I'm not I know you've heard me say it before, I'm not a my way or highway kind of gal, okay? Definitely not. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come up to my high point, and you all know the best way to get good at traveling, don't you? I know my students do because I may have said it once or twice in the class. Right, Chris can, Chris is here, Wanda's here, and Jan is here, and they can all tell you what I say. Okay, here's our 2-inch. Where'd my, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, oh no, Tiffy stole my stacing gauge. She didn't. Sometimes just things get in the way though, hey? And, oh, we gotta come this way just a little bit. Perfect. Trust the template. Seriously, guys, look at that. I mean, I was worried to all get out that it wasn't going to work, but it sure did when you trust the template. The template is kind of like Father knows best. The template knows best. It knows better than we do. Okay, again, I'm going to come up here. Now I'm just going to twist it down a little bit because I want it to end right here. Okay, and we're going to come down. That's a beautiful plume. Oh, I wish they all looked like that. We'll come right here. Going to come up. There we go. And there we go. I forgot the stem. I forgot the spine. You know what? It's okay. It looks good without the spine too, doesn't it? I kind of like that. That is definitely much better than this one. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Spine or no spine? There we go. I'm never sure which direction I'm going in. Okay. That looks good. I'm okay. Yep, slowly, Linda, slowly, slowly. You're absolutely right. Hi, Julie. Nice to see you. You're heading home soon. Shouldn't you be in Kentucky? I won't be there, but I know some people will. Leah said, well, I agree with you. Leah said that without the spine, it looks like stacked hearts, and you're absolutely right. It does look like stacked hearts. Okay, so we got that middle one done, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, that was the one I was fretting the most. But I'll tell you something, after seeing it turn out, this is a design that I will use again and again and again. I can see it in so many ways. I can see it in a border. You could do it like this, touching each other, or take and make a space on the outside of it and put a curly Q design and a 180 curlicue design next to it, and then put that in next. So, use your imagination. Use your imagination. You guys are so smart and so talented. It goes this way. That I know that you can do this. Okay? So play with it, draw it out, definitely draw it out. Nancy's here. Hi, Nancy. She is the good morning from Victoria, Australia. Hi, Di Werner. Di is here too. Okay, now the next one I want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and put the hearts back. We are almost done with it. So the next one I want to do is this Spin-e-fex. I really, really like the Spin-e-fex. We did it last week, and I really want to do it again because I think that this is one that we can use in so many different ways. Let me get my crosshair ruler out here, and we're going to put that puppy right, yeah, we're going to put it here, I think. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. And I have found stable tape does help me with my crosshair rulers. It doesn't go flying across the room. Not that that's ever really happened to me, okay? But it could. Oh, I'll never fess up. I'll never fess up. Oh, goodness. Here we go. 8 reference lines, and we got the 2 in the center joined. I always like to do that. Now, all I have to do is find my other templates, and here they are. All right. We have got actually a, a good amount of Spin-e-fex Feather 8. And we even have some new ones. Funny, only, but looks aren't everything, okay? Okay, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get that link, and we're gonna post that. So don't forget 20% off with the coupon code DEAL20. And I know everybody got my stuff because Stacy did text me back. So what we have in our Spin-e-fex Feathers 8, what we have is a 7.5 inch. Then we have a 5.5 inch. We have a 4.5 inch and a 3.5 inch. And with our Elevate box, we also got a 4 inch, whoops, and a 3 inch. So we really, really have a great variety of these spin effects. And we can do what I'm going to do with any sizes. You can do them small, you can do them large. It's entirely up to you. So let's go ahead and do them. Let's use the 3.5 and the 4.5. Okay. The reason I'm using those is because if we look here, I'm not going to have a whole lot of extra room to work, unfortunately. So let me make sure that the 4.5 is going to, oh yeah, it'll fit in. It's going to be our embellishment. And I'm going to put the other ones right here in my ruler stand. So after we're done tonight, I'm not going, oh, where are they? I never do that though, right? Someday I'm really gonna show you guys the mess I have here when I'm getting ready for a class and when I do one. You know, it's pretty disgusting. It really is. Normally, I'm kind of a clean person. At least I think I am. Okay, here we go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come up to A and back to B. And I'm going to turn my template so you can see. I want to make sure that you're well focused. Oh, cool. Suzanne got her Spin-e-fex feathers in the mail today, and she can't wait to try them. And here we are using them tonight, Suzanne, just for you. I had a feeling yours were going to get there today. All right, not really. All righty, here we go. Up to A, back to B. Now we could go up to A, back to center too, if you prefer. It's entirely up to you. Remember to keep those stitches a little smaller. Now, if you wanted, you could have started at A also, or started at A, gone to the center, and then come back to B. That's perfectly acceptable. All right. Chippy and the hooligans have settled down because the neighbors' dogs were outside. There was a little bit of let's talk to everybody going on here. All right, I'm going to go ahead. This time I'm going to go to B. Then I'm going to go to the center. And I'm going to come back up. And my foot just came loose, guys. There we go. That was scary. And back to B. And it's still not quite low enough. When you hear your fabric popping, it can be because you have a dull needle, or it can be because your foot's too high. And in my case, it was because my foot was too high. Um, this old machine, and it is old, well, it's about the same age as me, so yeah, it's pretty old. Um, anyway, this old machine vibrates, and the foot tends to vibrate loose on it, kind of like my brain. I guess that's okay because I'm vintage too. So yeah. So yep, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. My brain vibrates loose. I like that excuse. All right, back down, all the way to the center. and back up to B. This is such a pretty template. And this is such a pretty, it's just a pleasure, I should say. It's a pleasure to stitch out. It really is. The markings on the template are awesome. And I need to move over just a stitch or two. There we go. Oh, this was my marking, not the templates. Wow. They're just, this is also a template that you can do a lot of different types of embellishment with. We're only going to do one here tonight. Back up to B. Make sure that needle is in, guys. Otherwise, it could get messy, right? Okay, there we go. Couple more. And remember, you don't have to be a speed demon if you don't want to be. But if you're one of those people who likes to run in the fast lane, go for it. Do what you are comfortable doing and stick with it and practice at the speed in which you're comfortable. I'm slow. Always been that way. A lot of that has to do with the region of the country I was born and raised in. We just tend to have a slower way of life up here. Nothing wrong with that. Some people say we got a weird accent too. I guess there's nothing wrong with that either, right? Okay. All right, let's get that spacing gauge out and see how we're doing. Look at that, guys. It's perfect. I love it. Okay, we're gonna come on. Now, I don't have to come up to back up to B, but considering I did it on all the rest, I'm gonna go ahead and do it on this one too, and this will be for consistency. Okay, there we go. And that's all it's for. It's for consistency. It's not because I need to. It's not because the quilting police tell me it's something I have to do. It's just what I think looks nice. And there we go. This is a staple as far as I'm concerned. There we go. I think it's a staple. I really do. I just love using this one. I love all the embellishments we can do on it. We're going to do one right now, and then when we do the next, we're going to do two of these tonight. And when we do the next one, I'm going to show you some other types of embellishments we can use. The next one we're going to do is going to be quite a bit smaller. Okay, let's see. Sandy, you made it. Better late than never. Anytime you can make it, Sandy, it's a good day. Rita says she prefers to start in the center, double stitch the whole shape. Don't like the look of part double and part single stitching that much. Rita, absolutely. I get what you're saying. And yes, that's so easy to do. You know, I learned a while back, if you double stitch one portion, single stitch another, it's going to be very obvious. If, however, you double stitch and then triple stitch on top of the next one, it's not going to. So Rita, you're right in wanting to do everything with the double because it keeps it very consistent. And consistency is important, definitely. Cynthia loves these templates and is looking forward to embellishment ideas. Well, let's get you started, okay? What I've got here is the 4.5 inch. I had the 3.5 inch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the 4.5 inch and we're going to do it in a couple of ways. I'm going to go ahead and just eyeball this. And I am going to make sure that I'm a 1/4 of an inch out. Okay, let me put it in this way. It's going to be easier. So I'm going to line up just like this for the first one. My stitching is going to show here and my stitching is going to show there. And I may need, yeah, I think I need the 5.5 inch for this one, not the 4.5 inch. Let me get the 5.5 inch out. I'll pull that thread up first. Whoops, there we go. There, perfect. So now what's going to happen here is I can ride along this shape. This is a 5.5. This is a 3.5. And then when my foot gets to the point where I can still see this, but it touches these two lines of stitching, I'm going to stop. Okay? And there we go. Stop with the needle down. You'll see I could see both lines of stitching here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it and I'm going to line it up again. Trust the template because it does look awkward. I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes across to the right side, and I do this, I think this every time, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It is going to work because you have it lined up. So now I've got it touching back here, and I'm going to take one stitch in place, and off we're going to go. And stopping here. Again, I'm going to twist, line it up, make sure everything is touching. And here we go. Oh, I got that one a little close there. There we go. Now I'm going to do something just a little bit different. It's going to be the same idea, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. I'm going to touch that previous rotation. I'm going to come up. I'm going to come all the way around. Whoops. I got off of my ruler there. And I'm going to come back. Stop with my needle down. I'm going to realign. If you want to make sure you're exactly where you need to be, you can use your spacing gauge here. You're going to use the 1/2 inch. There we go. Oh, for some, it feels like something's pulling on me there. There we go. You're going to come down to that lobe and back up and stop there. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move it over. Make sure we've got our spacing correct. Come back to the previous feather. And around. Touch that lobe, that feather, and then, whoa, drop your spacing gauge. You have to drop it at least twice. And then we're gonna move again. I'll tell you guys, I have to be the world's worst class. I dropped everything. And around we're gonna go to the feather, back out. We're gonna stop with our needle down when we can see this line of stitching right here. This one, that means we're a quarter of an inch away. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hold that up here using that 1/2 inch spacing. Okay, there we go. Coming back down to the previous lobe and up we're gonna go. And this time we're gonna stop where we started, right there. So here are a couple of embellishments that we can do. One, of course, has the curved cross hatching on top. Come here, you. Just a little bit. The other does not. Well, there we go. Okay. So here we've got that little bit of cross hatching in there. And this, of course, we don't. So it's entirely up to you which look you like better. I'm going to switch over to this other camera so you can see it better. There it is. Okay. Just a really nice round. And you could use this in cornerstones. It would look lovely in cornerstones. You could use the bigger sizes and use it in a block too. Definitely can. And again, so you can see it better, I will show you this one again. Definitely like it that way, even though that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, that's what's fun about this. Sometimes you find things different than they're supposed to be, and you kind of go, oh, that's kind of cool. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, wait, I did. So we can just play to our heart's content. We really, really can, and come up with some really cool ideas. When you do those things, I hope you post them to Westerly by me because I really love to see them. Okay, we'll head back to the other camera. Okay. And our next is going to be, let's show you how to do this little guy up here. This is kind of, it looks like kind of a plume. I'm not really sure what exactly that is, but it's cute. So let's do it. I put a line here for it even, okay? Mm. So what do we want to do? Let me get my pencil out, okay? What we want to do, here's our line. We want to come up and around, up and around, up and around. Then we want to come up and around. Whoops, I didn't go as far out as I should. Up and around, and up and around, and then a top knot, right? Let's see how we can do that. We're going to need small feathers for that one. And I am going to use the 2-inch. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the 2-inch for all of the feathers. If we wanted to go bigger, we could. We could use the 3-inch and then go with the 2-inch. But this is a pretty small little um, motif in and of itself, okay? So come here. I'm going to hit that focus. There we go. I like that focus. I like to make sure you guys are getting your money's worth, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and I want to come back to that same area. Okay. And you see how our template is a little too big. That's okay. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead, start out. Come up to the top. Now, and I don't know if this is the way we're supposed to do it or not. It's just the way I do it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist it now. And come back up to my high point. Actually, I'm going to be just below my high, just before my high point. Okay, go ahead and cut that off. I'm going to go ahead and move myself up. Now I want to come in just a little bit from the other one. Looks about right. Whoops. Come around. Again, up to my high point. I'm going to twist it around. There we go. I think. Yeah, that looks good. Now we'll come down and meet that other one and come back to the high point. Or should I say just before the high point? There we go. Now we're going to come down again. Now this is our 2-inch. Remember, we can't get any smaller than this. Let's try that again. There we go. Up to the high point. I want to turn this around so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm twisting it so that when it comes down, it will end like right here. It's going to be coming a long way down. Just before my high point, I'm going to turn this over. Now this time, I'm pretending there's a line here. I'm going to come about halfway. There we go. That's half. Okay. And you can see where I came off of the template. Didn't mean to. It happens. It just happens. I hate it when it does, but it does. Okay. One more in there. Now this one, we're actually making our spine as we go along, aren't we? Come on this side. Need that. Okay. We'll come up from the bottom. Want to make sure that I'm going to stop right here. So I'm going to turn my template. Come back to my high point and stop. That's right. Stop here. Turn my template. Now, I really did not leave myself enough room. Yeah, I did not leave myself enough room to make another one, guys. But that's okay. I'll just go ahead and close up that top one. And I can add one on the bottom if I want. Or not. It's okay. It looks fine either way. This one I got a little too small. What would have helped me on this had I drawn parameters. That could be why it's important that we do that. I like it though. I definitely like it. But, well, you know what? A third one, yeah, might have worked there. I'm not real sure. I'm not real sure. But before we go, one more thing. 4.5, that's 4.5. I want the 3.5. Here we go. 3.5. One more embellishment before we leave, guys, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on this one because this one's already drawn out or stitched out. There we go. Okay, so I'm back to the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now twist my template so that this line of stitching touches the edge of the template. There we go. Now you can stop here, which I'll do on this one, and then the next one will go up farther, okay? Now you can do one, or I never like to do just one. Turn it again. Come in. Don't go as far this time. And come back. Yeah, I don't normally do 3. Let's try the 3 and see how we like that, okay? There we go. That is a pretty embellishment. I think that is one of the nicer ones that we have the opportunity to do. So let's take a look at one more thing we can do with this template. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it like I did. But rather than stopping, we're going to go all the way across. And this is what I mean by going all the way across. And I'm going to do one more time, all the way across. and back to center. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Let's get these threads out of here. What do you think? I'm not sure which one I like better, to be honest with you. I do very much like them both. I do very much like to play with this guy because there are lots of things we can do really, really well in here. We could take, I think a mini, the 1.5 inch mini Spin-e-fex, you could do half of it, like from here up. I think that would look absolutely awesome, but I don't have them out, or I'd show them to you. Lee likes the shorter ones better, and Cindy likes that new one. She likes it. Sharita, what a pretty name. She says both are very pretty. Julie says she's heading to Paducah tomorrow. Uh, you know, Cynthia, I love what she wrote. She said she loves that we can wing it. And yeah, we can. We can. Okay. Oh, Suzanne, thank you. Sharita, is this your first time? Hello. Oh, this is my first time. Great, great. I hope you come back, and we'd love to have you back. That would be awesome. Yeah, we have got so many different things and so many different things that we could do. Hi, Alan from Delaware. So nice to see you. Now, tomorrow evening, we are going to be doing ta-da, border sampler set. So that's going to be some fun. Yes, Linda, I will see you tomorrow morning. I will see you tomorrow morning. Debbie, I'll see you tomorrow morning as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for the border sampler template set. And then Wednesday morning for Coffee with Kathy, we're going to do Spin-e-fex 15. For those of you that are heading into Paducah, you probably know already, obviously, just by the fact that I'm here tonight, I will not be in Paducah. I did have to cancel going there, sadly, very sadly. So, when you get down there, look for So Steady. I'm not really sure what they're gonna have there, but, before you leave here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember that these videos, even though they are on Facebook, will disappear in 30 days, but they will stay in our YouTube channels, 906 Quilting and So Steady's YouTube channels. I personally want to thank you all for being here from the bottom of my heart. It means so very much to me. Thank you, Debbie. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So we will all hopefully see you tomorrow. And until then, let's quilt.